Hello, everyone. I hope you had a good spring break and got to have some fun and get some rest. We don't have anything due this Sunday, but the work you guys have been doing so far, the analysis work has been really good. As we've finished the exercise part in learning some of the elements that we want to think about with visual rhetoric, and now you're applying that and practicing doing some of your own analysis to help us get ready for when you start working on your own individual slide cast projects, when you'll pick and choose what you want to take what you've learned basically and then put together your own project. So I wasn't going to spend much time on this update, but I did want to share with you one of the things that I like to use as an example when I talk about doing visual analysis is the opening scenes or the opening credits that you see to movies, TV shows. It could be other things, but those are the main ones. And usually, a lot of the times when I have taught the visual rhetoric courses, I've used these as an examples. And one of the ones I've seen recently that I really like, and it kind of stood out to me and caught my attention, it's this series on FX, and I've been watching it on Hulu, I think, but it's called Feud, Capote versus the Swans. It's based on a book. It's based on a true story. Now, how much of it is actually true is, that's always debatable. But it's about Truman Capote, who was a well-known author. It's set in the 60s. It focuses on high society women in Manhattan and their lives and Capote's relationship to them. He actually, one of the big points in the book is that he was very close to this group of women, and then he ended up writing a book where he shared a lot of the things that he knew that they didn't want to be shared, and of course that turned into a problem and really a big rift and all the drama that goes along with that. But I wanted to talk about the opening credit for that show. And in terms of first impressions, like I said, it did catch my attention. It has kind of a artistic, like museum quality, like a painting from, like you'd see in a museum, from some famous artist. And the background of it, I couldn't really find a lot. And I think that's one thing that, when I do this kind of assignment, it's always hard to find information about opening credit types of, things that are made. And the best I could find was that this was created by Wayne Coe. And here you see this actually if you're interested in knowing more about this is ArtStation. I'm not real familiar with this site, but it looks like it has a lot of this specific kind of information, and this looks like it's Wayne Coe's portfolio. So if you want to, if you're thinking about putting together something like that, or if you have and are interested and want to kind of look at examples, this might be a good thing for you to look at. But this shows some screenshots. I'm going to show you the actual opening here in a minute. I'll show you the full thing. But this shows you just some screenshots. And what I want to say about, and I'll talk a little bit about a couple of the things. Let me show you here some of the main things that stood out. It's about the glitz and glamour of these high society women. The extremes they go to be beautiful on the outside, but then all of the problems that they have that they talk about, that Capote learns about and writes about in the book. They're known as his swans. They follow him. You see that in the in the video. Now, one of the main things that I see visually represented is this idea of sharp points that draw blood. And you see that in the feathers, the feather that fits with swans, and then the pen of, actually writing the book, the mask, this idea of on the outside how hard they work to be very glamorous and beautiful. And then to me, the movement in the video and this kind of goes into this, the symbolic elements. To me, it's got kind of this drowning movement. You see a lot of falling. You see some things that are like drowning in the blood or drowning in the water or drowning in other elements. And it's this idea of, trying to reach this perfection in terms of how things look and the things that we haven't owned, but, what is the reality of the people's lives. So here you see some stills. As far as color, the author, which I'm going to assume is Wayne Coe, does a really good job of using one color, mostly one color. You can see here one color, the main color blue, and then the contrasting black or white. And then here you see the kind of burnt orange color, the black and white. One of the things that you see in the series that's also in the book, Capote had this famous black and white ball. And the colors of that time period, in terms of fashion and design, they were more muted. So you didn't see a lot of bright, fancy, heavy. It was more of a muted pastel, kind of subdued. And so you see that in the colors here used. You see this kind of gold and subdued. Here's another sharp point. I didn't put that down. The fangs, because the women felt, of course, they felt like Capote had stabbed them in the back, right? He had, become close to them, and then in the way they felt, he had, gone against them and sharing their information. So that would probably be representative of Capote himself. And here, the splashes of water, wine, there's a lot of drinking, there's a lot of smoking, other types of activities that, again, the idea of they wanted to be beautiful on the outside, but health-wise, that some of the habits they had didn't contribute to staying, looking in good health. And then, of course, the darker, would this be representative blood? The mask, I don't know, did I mention the mask over here? The mask go along with the idea of, again, that outward beauty, but when you pull away the mask, what is there? And the black and white ball that I talked about, they had the mask. It was a masquerade type of party. Here, this one's very interesting to me. Here again, you see the one color, different hues of that one color, but still the one color, the pen. And this would be one of the women, one of the swans, hanging off of the sharp point of the pen. And then black and white. And then there's a scene at the end that I'll talk a little bit about. I'm going to show you the actual, I'm going to run it through without the music and talk a little bit while I show that to you as well. So you see here the black and the white, and the swans are following the Truman Capote. There's the feather. He's got the feather that he's going to, stab them with, cause them to bleed, leading them, there he is leading them along. And you can see here still the single colors, more masks. Falling, see the movement of the falling. The falling. I didn't talk much about the guns, but they felt like the pen was the gun. Here we go, the falling, the movement, falling over, and the buildings are falling. And there's the, alcohol, water falling into water, or blood, or falling into a wine glass. A lot of falling movement. And here again, the serpent. Oh, well, let me say one real quick thing about the, you guys are working on fonts. I thought the font was really interesting. Let me go back to, if you look at the font they use in the beginning. It must be at the end. Let's see. The font has a sharp, here again, there's that sharp kind of pen. Here it is. Yeah, the sharp pen. So the font goes along also with this idea of sharp points and drawing blood. And then this last, the black and white, you've got the one orange, a little bit of a burnt orange there, but see, you've got the hint of the blood in there. And then the eye, the image of the eye, I thought was very indicative of the topic. And then you can see the sharpness of and usually you can, if you look hard enough, I didn't find what this font was called. There's so many nowadays, it's hard to keep up with them all. But anyway, I think that was it. So now there's the ads. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. If you have a opening credit kind of thing like this that you want to share, it would just be, if you wanted to talk about it. I'm not assigning this or anything. But feel free to post it, in Blackboard in the discussion forum, if you have one that you've used or you like. So anyway, that's all I had for that one. And keep posting questions that you have, and keep up all of the good work.